Oh, hey, hi there. How you doing? It's good to see you again. Hey, I'm glad you stopped by. I was just remembering that you had a conversation. You were telling me about you had a conversation with this young college student who was starting, I think she was starting her freshman or sophomore year at university. You told me her name was Dana, and she said she was going to get into the business program, and she was considering getting into accounting, and she was asking about it. And her concern was, she had asked you, her concern was about getting displaced through artificial intelligence. And you told her, well, yeah, I mean, that is a concern for almost all jobs, getting displaced by artificial intelligence. And accounting could have that problem as much as marketing or management or any other kind of job. And actually, it's your ability to add value outside of something which is just, accounting or finance or management. Specifically, you need a skill, which is helping management making a distinction between predicting an outcome and predicting how a decision will affect an outcome. This is how you add value. It's a bit wordy. She was confused. What do you mean by that? What are you talking about? You said, okay, it's a little hard to get at, actually. But you pointed her to an article in Harvard Business Review. This Harvard Business Review article was dated April 6, 2022, and it was titled, How to Use Correlation to Make Predictions. It was written by Dean Carlin and Michael Luca. This Dean Carlin is a professor at Northwestern's Kellogg School of Management, and Michael Luca is an associate professor at the Business Administration at Harvard Business School. So these are heavyweight people, and they're writing this article about correlation and about, well, what I just said, about making predictions. So basically, in this article, the authors point to an executive that wants to increase productivity. And she feels that college graduates are more productive. So she asks two questions. One, should she subsidize college degrees for employees? Two, should she hire more college graduates? Now, the authors describe these two questions as a very different type of questions. The first one, should she subsidize college graduates is a causal inference problem, because you're trying to determine whether college degrees cause higher productivity. A correlation analysis would be an inferior test because it would provide misleading information. Instead, you would need to examine productivity data for employees before and after going to college, and there are statistical tests for that. The second question is, should she hire more college graduates? This is a predictive problem because we're asking, are the kinds of people who get college degrees productive employees? And here the tool of correlation is useful and helpful. And the authors in the article provide several real-life examples where using correlation in a causal inference problem provides misleading results. But the authors also identify where prediction-type problems that use correlation analysis provided magnificent results. Biologist E.O. Wilson famously said, "We are drowning in information, but starving for wisdom." And the rest of that quote reads, "The world henceforth will be run by synthesizers, people able to put together the right information at the right time, think critically about it, and make important choices wisely." So Dana says, I'm a little confused. So what about the executive that wants to increase productivity in college grads? Well, we tell the executive that we can examine the second question using the tool of correlation. And we can do that very easily in Excel. So the executive went to Human Resources, found the last 32 hires at the company, determined if they were college grads or not, and went to their supervisors and asked them of a rating of their efficiency and productivity on a scale between 0 and 1. And we loaded that information into Excel. And you can see here on this Excel spreadsheet, we have just the number of employees. We're down to like number 27, but actually it ran off the page and it went to 32. And in the next column it says college. So we gave them a 0 or 1. In this case, a 0 if they didn't have college, and a 1 if they did. Doesn't matter really which way. And then their rating, their efficiency and effectiveness rating, score from 0 to 1, and that was based by their supervisors, etc. Now, to conduct a correlation analysis is very easy in Excel. The easiest way is you can go equals CORREL, open parentheses, put in your first range of data, comma, put in your second range of data, boom, you hit enter. Up pops 0.67902. There's another way you can do it. It looks a little bit laborious. You simply type in, or you click on data, then from there data analysis, then from there correlation, and then once again it asks for the input ranges. You put in input range 1, input range 2, you hit enter, and you can see here how it says column 1, column 2, 0.67902. It's the same number, okay? So Dana says, okay, I see what you did there in Excel, but what does that 0.679 mean? Well, that's a good question. There are multiple reasons that someone may go to college and graduate from college. Maybe they have the smarts, maybe they have the financial resources, maybe they have the drive and the motivation, even if they don't have the money. Maybe they want to earn more money. Maybe that's their motivator. Maybe it's influence over their parents. Also, there are multiple reasons that someone is a good, solid worker, whether or not they go to college. Maybe they're good at following the rules. Maybe they're good at following instructions. Maybe they have a drive to succeed. Once again, perhaps it's their parents' influence. You know what? We don't have to know what all those reasons are. If we conduct a correlation analysis, in this case, the analysis tells us that college explains 68% of these employees' work efficiency. For whatever the 100% of the reasons are, for the good performers, 68% of that overlaps with why they chose to attend and graduate from college. Okay, now, what about this rating here again? Well, 0.6 is considered a moderate predictor, and 0.8 is considered a very good predictor. We calculate 0.679. That's between the moderate and the very good. So Dana nods her head. Okay, I think I get it. Okay, so should the executive send your employees to college? Well, don't forget, the causal inference problem can only be examined through experimentation with before and after data. So to this question, your counsel to the president would be, if she wants to send the employees to college, that would be for experimentation purposes that we could test later. But it would be inaccurate to use the correlation and saying, oh, this 0.679 correlation is a good correlation, therefore we should send them to college. That would be an ineffective use of this tool. It could have misleading results. So Dana says, well, it sounds like I really don't need an accounting degree for this. And you said, you're right. The people who understand this might be math majors, they might be actuaries, they might be statistics professors. Obviously, the people who wrote this article were professors at very heavyweight universities that wrote this article. So you really don't need to be an accountant. But your point was that you wanted to make sure that you don't want artificial intelligence to get your job. This skill set, helping the managers, the presidents of organizations, businesses, organizations of all type, will be invaluable. Being able to distinguish what type of tool to use, understanding what the question is. This is the skill set that you bring to the table. Now, although it's true it's not necessarily an accounting skill, guess what? In most organizations, you don't have actuaries and math majors and obviously statistics professors. But you know what they have? They have accountants who are well respected. They have CPAs that people, decision makers, go to with questions that they ask, especially of a quantitative nature. And so your ability to come to the table with answers to questions like this, and I assure you, you will, because CPAs and accountants are represented at all organizations and they're well respected. That's what's going to differentiate you. That's when it's going to make sure that your skill set is not displaced by AI. And I said, wow, that's quite a presentation you gave Dana there. What did you think of that? And you said, well, I guess it went pretty well because she decided to pursue the accounting program full time. As a matter of fact, she chatted with some of her friends, and 3 of her other friends are going to do the accounting degree full time. They want to become accountants. And I said, well, that's great. That's good for you. You know what? You are one ace accountant. Let's give you a round of applause. All right.